try to make it new. You can't fight it when it feels so true. You drive me crazy like no one else. The final moment before I lose myself. And it's no use working 9 to 5 if you want more than to stay alive. So come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. We stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh, so come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. We stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh, the morning light. Oh, I just wanna be your Superman. Come fly with me, just take my hand.
Hello, one and all, and welcome back again. Welcome to Just Us Girls. I am so excited again, once again, to be here. We're coming at you, we're coming to you. And as usual, as we always say, get the cat, get the dog, get everybody. Come get the popcorn because we are ready today to really share some good stuff with you today. All right now. So today, we are going to be discussing signs that you are in a dysfunctional relationship. Signs that you are in a dysfunctional relationship. And we are going to share some things with you. Hopefully you can identify with some things if you are actually in that type of relationship, and it'll be able to show you how you can turn around and you can make your situation better, whether you gotta leave, or whether you need to go for counseling. More than likely, you probably need to go. So we are going to get started. Get your notebook, get your pen, get your paper. By now, you should know what you got to do, but I'm going to reiterate again. Get your pen, get your paper, get your notebook, or whatever it is that you've been taking your notes in, because we're going to give you some, some things for you to look out for, especially when you're dating, and especially when, because we're still talking about dating, and especially when we know that you can do better. Remember that you can do better. So for today, we have, as usual, we have LaWanda. Dree is not with us today. We miss you. Nobody says we miss you. But we have a special guest with us today, and she is Dr. Collette Barrow from Daybreak Women. And so we're going to be coming at you. LaWanda, how you doing, girlfriend? I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you.
I love you more.
So we are going to get all in. Thank you so much again for joining us. And I always say, hey, girls, we are going to go in. So, signs that you are in a dysfunctional relationship. First of all, what is a dysfunctional relationship? What is a dysfunctional relationship? How do you know that? What have you been doing? What did you do? What's been happening to you? Let's talk. Tell me, girl talk. What have you been seeing? What are the signs that you've seen so far while you're dating this person? You guys probably have been going out for maybe 6 months or 8 months or even a year or so. And how has it been going so far? It's been going good? Good. You've seen some things that you're not sure of? Let's talk about it. So LaWanda, let's dig in. Let's tell the people, and let's tell all ladies, and even some of the men, what are some of the signs that they are indeed in a dysfunctional relationship? Talk to us.
There are so many signs, but there are some that are more obvious than others. And one of the ones that I know I really have experienced it firsthand, especially when I was dating, before I got married and going through the whole dating scene. And one of the things that I found that I dealt with was the threats of exile, the threats of abandonment, always threatening to leave. Okay. They want to make you feel like you can't do it without them. So what happens is they keep threatening and they say, okay, you know what? I'm gone. I'm out of here. How many times have we heard that? I'm out of here. That's it. I'm done. I can't do this no more. That's it. How many times have you heard that? I'm sure this is not the first time you have heard that. And it's sad because what happens is once it's already said, now it opens up a wound. So what happens is now you have this open wound that you're walking around with because all you sit here is trying to realize what happens to the day when they really go through with what they said they were going to do. What does that do for me? What position does that put you in? So it brings you to this point that you find yourself dealing with the threats and you say to yourself, okay, am I going to wake up one morning and I'm going to be abandoned? Are you going to tell me one day you're going to tell me you don't want to be bothered? I don't know about you, but I've been in that situation and I believe in being transparent and being truthful because that's what's going to help you. Because if I sit here and sugarcoat it, that's not what's going to help you. So I lived in a situation like that and I didn't realize I was in a dysfunctional relationship. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, all right. I said, he's not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about that. But he kept threatening it. So the more he threatened it, the more I believed that that's what was going to happen. But that's only because it gave him the power. And that's why he kept doing it. So we find ourselves going through that, especially when we're dealing with the threats of abandonment, and then don't leave out uncertainty. Because uncertainty is you never know how that person is going to be when you're with them. You never know whether it's going to be Dr. Jekyll today or if it's going to be Mr. Hyde. You don't know who it's going to be. One day you come home, everything is okay. The next, they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to see you, or either they don't want to call you. You're dating. You hear from them one day, then 6 days go, you don't hear from them. So you're putting yourself in this place and you're like, wait a minute, now I don't know who you are. I thought I did, but now I don't know. So you find yourself putting this through yourself mentally. This is almost, this thing takes you mentally. If you don't watch it, it's going to take you mentally and it's going to put you into a place and you wonder, is it me? I don't know about you, but I have been in that place where I said, is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Am I the one? Wait, maybe it's me, But when you find that person is always flipping, they're doing flips, back handsprings, carts, you don't know what they're going to do next. You don't know. You see them one day, they're happy. The next day, they're angry over something you don't even know what you did. You're mad at them. So, and what happens is we're dealing with these dysfunctional relationships that are not healthy. They're not healthy. When you're dealing with them, you're dealing with functions. You're dealing with things that are not normal. Well, you're not supposed to treat people like that. But we go with it and we don't say anything. So we think it's okay and they think it's okay. That's why they keep doing it. And it's not good because it's not healthy for you. So the one that's watching this today, it's not healthy for you because maybe you deal with the uncertainty. Maybe you deal with the threats of the exile and the abandonment. So this is something that I know were definitely two on the top of my list that really, really don't know. I really feel like really need to be addressed. They do because there's so many that are living in this place today and don't know what day is going to come that they walk out that door. They don't know what day it is. But I do want to say this one. If they decide to walk out, help them walk out and keep going. Because that meant that, you know what? They were never meant for you anyway. So I'm going to help you today. Just in case you was wondering, trust me, the same way that God's been taking care of you, he will keep taking care of you. So you don't ever want to have somebody give them that much power. So what happens is they think you can't do without them. Even if you can't, fake it till you make it. I don't care if you're struggling, drinking water every day. You might have to be on cheese and crackers for a couple of days, but you know what? You'll make it work. Trust me. But it's better because you'll have your sanity. You'll have your mind. And this, you can't put a price on this. You can't put a price on it.
I love that. Priceless. You cannot put a price on that. I love that. Listen, help them. Help them. Listen, we'll help you. I'll help you pack your bags if you have too, because and I don't. Sometimes I wonder why is it that someone stay in that type of relationship? Now we're here to help you because, and let's say you're actually dating right now. You're dating. You're in a dating phase. You're not even married yet. And the sad thing about it is, some people see these signs. The relationship is dysfunctional, and then they'll brush over it. They'll sweep everything under the rug because they're so, I would not use the word desperate. They're so longing, they're so wanting to get married. So they go into this marriage and all the signs are there. It is better for you to see it. We're here to help you see it. You recognize it, and what you do, get help to get out of it so that you do not go into a marriage with it. And the next thing you know, you're like, well, and he'll turn on, he said, but this is how I am. You know this from day one. I didn't change. He didn't change because he showed you who he was from the get-go. And you failed to acknowledge it, and you failed to act upon it. So come on, Dr. Collette, tell us what it is that you have to say today.
Well, LaWanda mentioned, she stated that about dysfunction being abnormal, right? And I want to just continue on that thought of dysfunction being a dysfunctional relationship is a relationship that's is not the way that it's supposed to be. And the way that it's supposed to be is a relationship of love. And I know you were just talking about why do women stay? Why do people ignore signs? I think it helps us, those of us who've been in those situations, and also though we may know people in those situations, to understand what got them there in the first place. And the reason why someone is there that would take crap is because they're broke. There's no other reason to me that you would settle for crap because you're broken on the inside. And so I can tell someone to leave, but unless I address the brokenness, because they can't see it, right? They can't see anything that you're saying to them. They're blind to it. All they can see is, but they say. And so in a dysfunctional relationship, the person who's in it is broken and then also has a false understanding of what love is. I tell people, listen, don't believe someone loves you by what they say, right? But you believe that they love you by what they do. And I don't know about anybody else, but I believe when it talks about in Corinthians about what love is, I remember talking to a friend of mine and saying, because she was saying that this guy loved her. I said, well, was he any of these things? And that caused her to stop and think. That wasn't love, right? It was infatuation, infatuated with the idea of having a man, infatuated with the idea of being in a relationship. But the truth of the matter is what she really wanted was love. What she really wanted was affirmation. And not only her, but me, when I've been in that situation and other women, that's what they're looking for is affirmation and love, for someone to say, I see you. And so they'll take the crap because at least that person sees them. They'll take the junk because that person sees them. But I want to tell that woman that's saying, well, I'm afraid of being alone, or I'm afraid of losing something because I won't have nothing. I want to empower that woman to know this, that God has so much for you. And the love that's supposed to come from a man, if you're a woman, is a love that is patient, a love that is kind, a love that is gentle, a love that suffers long, right? A love that gives, doesn't take, but it gives. And so I think as you ask the question, am I in, because some people need to ask the question, am I in a dysfunctional relationship? I would say, ask yourself, is there love? And not the love that you see in the world, but is there love according to what we see that God shows us what love is? If he ain't doing that, then boom, he doesn't love you. And what you're experiencing isn't love. Right? If he loves you, he will honor you. If he loves you, he will respect you. If he loves you, he'll be kind. He will give. Love is sacrificial. So when we talk about dysfunction and abnormal, an abnormal relationship is a relationship where there's an absence of love and love demonstrated. Because love has to be demonstrated. So I ask that question. Is he doing all those things? And if the person looks at me like, well, then baby, that's not love. And now let's deal with the issue of why you're searching for love from this person that's giving you dysfunction.
Listen, this is good. This is so good. This is so much meat on this bone. You know what I mean? I love what you're saying. The love that, you know,
That's the love
that you're supposed to have, and the love that is the love that comes from the Lord. Because then if that person turns and say, you know, okay, you know, I love you, and you don't show, they say what words, you know, words are cheap, you know, right. Action speaks louder than words, right? So when you show me that, you tell me that you love me, like you can tell Jane, you can tell Susan, you can tell Sally, you can tell everybody, I love you, boo. Yeah. You know, I love you. You know, I got you. You know, you sort of me. I got you. I love you. But then are you showing me? How are you showing me that you love me? How are you treating me? How are you speaking to me? Are you speaking to me, you know, with respect? Are you speaking to me in, you know, in a way that, you know, I can receive that and knowingly? Are you showing me? I'm not talking about bringing the flowers either. Okay, that's beautiful. But then hear this good, because then after someone has been abused, and we're going to get to that another time, what happened, you have the what's called the honeymoon stage, where that person come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, and they bring you flowers and they bring all these things, and you're like, oh, he loves me. No, if someone is speaking to you in a irrational way, or speaking to you, you know, in a way that is disrespectful, no. We spoke about this before, is for you to have that self-love, know who you are before you even get into this type of relationship. Know who you are. We said to you, make a list of things that you want in a relationship. And here's the good part about it. You make your list, and you may have a long laundry list of stuff. I don't care how long it is, okay? You make that list and you check off on that list the things that you have been experiencing. Now, if you come to item number 10, item number 10 says respect. And if Broham ain't respecting you, you know, guess what? It's time for you to say, well, you got to hit this road, because I deserve better than that. I deserve to the respect that, because I respect myself. And if I respect myself, I expect that. I expect something from you, and you can't give it to me. Why am I going to be in this relationship with somebody who really and truly does not even respect me? Because like I said, he's not going to change. You get into a marriage with this, and it's going to be the same thing, the same cycle over and over again. And you wonder why. Well, I showed you. I told you, boo. You know how I am. You know, I ain't changing for nobody. This is me. This is how I am. You know what I mean? So ladies, we're here to empower you and to let you know that you deserve better than that. Okay, so we say, okay, you're in a dysfunctional relationship. How did you get here? How did you get here? What was going on? What's going on in your life? Where are you? Where are you emotionally? Where are you socially? What is going on in your life so that you'll receive or you'll accept a man treating you this way? Let's talk about it. What are some of the things that's going on with that individual? We can say low self-esteem and the whole nine. Go ahead, Dr. Collette.
Oh, yeah.
On the tip of my tongue, definitely low self-esteem. I think, and I can identify with this in my past, where you don't think you deserve it or that you're worth it. You don't think that you're worth. You have such a low view of yourself that you're willing to take the junk.
You find that, you know, you find that so often. I mean, just so funny, you know, ironic with what you said, but it's true, because you find that more often than not. And what happens is, I think once you've been in a relationship for so long, like it becomes normal to you. It becomes almost a normalcy for them now.
Normalizing dysfunction.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes. It's like it becomes the norm for them. And one of the things I find, I can go back to myself and just realizing how many times, because I want to help somebody today, is we stay in a relationship, and sometimes because of our childhood and because of the way that we came up, we saw certain things, and watching those things and growing up, we do begin to think that that's the norm, that maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. But just because you saw that growing up does not mean it was the right thing. It doesn't mean it's just something that maybe was happening in your household. It's what you grew up with as a child, but it doesn't mean it was the right thing. So I find that so often that you come to this place in your life and you wonder and you say, why did I settle? So many times you have questions that you don't have answers to because you keep saying, but why do I settle? Do you notice, I find for myself, I don't know about you, but I just kept attracting the same thing over and over again. And every time it was dysfunctional. And every time I'm like, wait a minute. But then you know what? To honestly tell you the truth, I'm gonna help somebody today because you know why? We can only blame them but so far. And here's the reason being. Because of the fact that we allowed it, that's number one. But two, what is it that they saw in us that made us realize that it was okay for them to play the game? What was it that they saw in us that they said, oh, okay, you know what? Don't worry about that. She'll be fine. Don't worry about that. I don't need to worry. I don't have to explain that. I can just treat her any kind of way I want. And you know what? And she'll be okay. You know why? Because she's just happy I'm here. She's just happy that I come to see her. She's just happy that I talk to her, that I call her. Hey, I can go 6 and 7 hours and don't have, and trust me, when I do call her, she's still gonna pick up the phone and she's gonna be okay. Okay. Now, for some people, that's okay. But when you've lived that, and I know people who have lived that in their lives, and there's some, let's be honest and truthful, that are still there today. They're still in those places. I sat there and I thought about one of the young ladies I know, and and her and I were talking for a moment. And one of the things that struck me was when we talked was I said to her, but why did you stay 15 years with a man who you knew was married? And you knew that there was possibly no chance that he was going to marry you because he was already married with a family. So he was not going to leave her. I said, but what made you stay? And the one thing she said that made me stay was because he takes care of me. Financially, I don't have to worry about. Financially, I'm good. I don't want for anything, honey. I'll be with him when I want to be with him. But you know what? I realized that I said, wait a minute. She's really settling for this because she felt that she can depend on him like that. She says, I don't have to worry about it because he's going to take care of me. So I'm good. I don't care that I don't get to see him that often, but you know what? It's okay. But what did that say for her? Did it really say that maybe she just didn't think she was worth better? That she didn't think she could get better? Because why? Because he had a brainwash and had her thinking that she didn't deserve any better. So that's why she kept going back. And she kept going back. And every time he gave her more and more. Every time you look, let me tell you something. She don't trust me. She didn't want for anything. Trust me when I tell you.
Wow.
But what was the price that she was paying for it? You understand what I'm saying? What price? It was a price that she probably wasn't even willing to pay, but she was paying for it emotionally. She was paying for it physically and probably didn't even know that that's what was going on inside of her. But it was draining her and taking away from her value. When what happens if there was the right one that was waiting for her, but he couldn't come in because she never opened the door because she never closed the last one. So he couldn't come in. So now what happens? She stays in a dysfunctional relationship. And why? Because she thought that that was all for her. She didn't think she deserved any better.
Go ahead, Collette.
And she didn't think that anything else was a possibility for her. So she felt like she didn't deserve it, but also that can't ever happen for me, right? And so, and I could imagine that gentleman convincing her in that brainwashing process that, no, I am loving you. I'm doing you good, right? Everybody else is jealous of you. That's why they're talking about you, right? And giving her all this kind of talk. And then she begins to believe the lies. She begins to believe that this is a good situation. So what? He's married. So what? He has a whole nother family. He comes to see me every whatever the schedule was, because there had to be a schedule. You know, it's the same reason why you have women, and I don't want to list the article because I didn't fact check it, but where someone was engaged to someone for 15 years, passed away, and nothing, she can get nothing. I mean, she lived with this person. They denied her common law status.
Yeah.
Right? And so she could lie to herself, because there are women who lie to themselves, say, I don't want to get married.
That's right.
You're saying that because you don't think it's a possibility for you. And so you don't want to bring your expectations here. So you'll diminish it because this is good enough. Because if I put it here, then I can get hurt when it doesn't happen. If I raise my expectations, then I open myself to get hurt. And so women need to know that, no, you deserve, and I want to break it down to real practical. No, you deserve someone that's going to call you every day, multiple times a day, going to text you throughout the day. You deserve someone that will take you out, that will show you around to everybody, that doesn't have another woman. You know, you deserve someone that will prioritize spending time with you. And that is a normal expectation. You are not being too much.
No.
Don't believe the lies that you're being too much. Oh, I do this for you. You should be happy for that. No. You have to take a dog on a walk.
That's right. That was good.
I'm not a dog.
I like that.
I deserve more than the treatment you give to the pet that you have, right?
Yes.
And so women you have to know that you deserve it. And so if this lands on anybody's feed, just so that they know you deserve to be considered, for your feelings to be considered. And guess what? Your feelings are valid. So when you have that inkling on the inside, like, I wish I heard from him more, or I'm not talking about some jealous nonsense. We ain't talking about that. But, you know, I wish that, you know, we could spend more time together. Those are valid feelings. And if you express those things and they're never heard, they're never validated to say, you know what, I hear you, let's do something. If that's not happening, and you're being made to feel that a simple request for being prioritized is too much, I want you to know that it's not. And again, I'm not talking about, what was that song from back in the days? Someone sang a song that said, if who's gonna come back to me? I'm not your superwoman.
Yeah.
That song.
Yeah, I'm not your superwoman.
Yeah, and then when she said, remember the words of the song?
I'm not the kind of girl.
Yes, I'm not that kind of girl that you can let down. Think that everything is okay. Right? You gotta know that. Yes, you're human. Thank you so much. You're human. Humans have needs. Don't let anyone diminish your needs and make you feel, because listen, I've been there when somebody makes you feel like you're stupid or like you're requesting too much. No, you really think it's too much for someone to call you every day? That is not too much. Or it's too much for someone to check in. That's not asking for a lot, right? But some of us, especially those of us who, even if your parents weren't together, but if you had a relationship with your father, and for those of us who didn't have a relationship with our father, right? Because, and I didn't have a relationship with my father, but what does research say? That your father teaches the girls how they should be treated. He's the first man to dote on her, to love her unconditionally, without wanting sex, without wanting anything, without touching her any kind of way. and making her feel like she has to give something. And when you don't have that, right now, you just kind of figure, well, I take what I get. And this is enough? No, that's a lie. That's right. I'm done for now. Go ahead.
You know what? Oh, this is so good. I love it. I engage it. But you know what is so a lie? I mean, it's good. I'm not gonna sing, but I'm your superwoman. I remember that song. Hello, somebody. But listen, what is more even damaging, all right, is the promise that, oh, I'm going to leave her. I'm gonna leave. We're gonna get married. The promise that you are going to get married, and he knows deep down, not even deep down, he knows.
He knows.
He knows.
Yeah, they say the man knows real quick.
He knows that, but it's a slip off the tongue. Oh, I love you. We're gonna get married. Things are not going good.
Broken promises.
I'm just waiting for that time. When is that time? Listen, somebody. The time is now. We are here. We're not telling you anything that is not, that is not true. We're speaking truth, we're speaking life, we're speaking empowerment to you, that if you are in that type of relationship, no, you're single. Remember that you're single. And in order for you, like the one that said it so eloquently before, that then you want to get married, Collette said also, because you have something. How could God give you something? Okay. How could God give you something if you already have something in your hand? He cannot give you a mate, because guess what? You have something here already. Remove it, empty yourself, so that God can fill you up with that person, with that love that you deserve. We always say it on this show. We always say it. We say time and time again that you are valued. You are loved. You are worth it. You're worth much more than what it is that he's dishing out to you. We said a couple weeks ago, get to stepping. If you're not acting right, we said, Martin said, get to stepping, hit the road. I'm not telling you to but pick yourself up. Get that, speak to somebody. Speak to someone. Even while you're in the dating phase, even before that, speak to someone about, get counseling, get coaching, get yourself together, so that when that joker comes around, okay, okay, no, I don't want to be treated that way. I know who I am. I'm worth more than what you're giving to me. You understand? I'm valued. You're not going to speak to me with, with that kind of, disrespect. Because no, I'm valued. I'm good. I mean, I love God. I'm going forth. I'm doing what it is that I have to do. I'm well respected. I respect myself. I love myself enough. I love myself enough. And that's why we push self-love so much. Because when you get yourself in that place where you love yourself, meaning that you know who you are, you know what you want out of life, you're comfortable being by yourself. And the last time we were here, Whitney was talking about, she's a love coach, she was talking about the love inside of you that will be overflowing where somebody sees you and they want to be with you, because the air about you, it's so free and it's so loving and you're so confident. We want you to get to that place. Now, everyone is not there, but we're here to help you to get to that place. Okay? We are here to help you to get to that place. And you said, okay, well, how am I supposed to leave him? What am I supposed to do? My rent's getting paid. My condo's getting paid. Oh, I got a ring. He gave me a ring. We talk about that promise ring, girl. We said, throw that thing out.
No promise rings?
We said, get rid of the promise ring. Get rid of the promise ring. No. I thought about, something real quick. When I thought about when we were talking about, of course, we had talked about the promise ring too. But it also took me back to when they're not spending enough time with you, something just like you have to, for me, I'm always about the red flag. I'm always about the signs. It's time for you to start checking some things. Because what happens is we sit down and we say, okay, it's just excuse after excuse after excuse. But if you say, that you're saying them that they're number one, then they should sit in the position of number one, not number 2, 3, 4, and 5. They should stay in that position of number one. But how can they stay in number one if there is already another one, a number one? They can't, you can't sit in that position because there's already somebody holding that seat. So you have to realize when there's excuses for why they can't call you more or why they can't spend more time, we have to realize that there may be other things going on, you know, and maybe sometimes we figure, oh, I'm better if I don't know. No, you're better if you do know. See, let me tell you something. We sit here and we say, oh no. And then what happens is in the event, do you know, this is what I try to explain this to people. Do you realize that if something happens to him, okay, and he is married, do you realize that his wife supersedes everything? I don't care if they have been separated for 10 years. If something happens to him, they want to know, is he legally married and where is she? Because she has to make a final decision. So in the event that something happens, and say, for instance, he ends up leaving here, okay, you have no closure. You don't get to go to a funeral. It's like you've been nothing. Nothing. So because everything was so discreet. So it's like you never even existed in a place with a man who you fell in love with, who you thought one day you and him would get married. But it didn't happen like that. Instead, it went another way. So now you have no closure. And why? And now all these years have gone by. And you just let it go by when you could have been doing something different. You could have been with somebody who really loved you for you. I'm all about that, being with somebody who cares for you, for you. If you want to be with me, trust me, they're going to make it happen. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. If you say you want something to drink, or you say you want some caramel popcorn or some chocolate covered ice cream, let me tell you something. If you love me like you said you do, you coming to bring me that caramel popcorn. Let me tell you something. It goes back real quick. Collette, the only reason why I can talk about this is because I can talk about it from my husband's point of view, because when we were dating, let me tell you something. He would meet me at the job. I wasn't even at the job. I'm coming off of the highway. And he is there. He done went to Dunkin' Donuts already. He said, I got you some coffee and I got you some donuts. I know you on your way to the job. He was beating me off the highway. He's waiting to give it to me, and so that he could run back to his job on time. So when they love you, that's what they do. And I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. He's like, where are you at? I said, I'm coming off of 78. He said, meet me on X, Y, and Z, I think off of Bergen Street. He said, meet me here. He was already waiting for me to give me my coffee and stuff so I could keep going. You know what I'm saying? Or either he was just dropping to the job, run in and run out. So if they love you, let me tell you something, it's going to be nothing for them. They'll do it with their eyes closed, honey, because they know you are all of that and a bag of chips. So they don't have a problem, honey. And they going to, hey, you want lunch? They'll bring you lunch too, because they love you and they just want you to be happy, because you make them happy. You make each other happy. So you're okay. But if you're staying in a dysfunctional relationship and he won't even bring you a bag of potato chips, we have a problem. He is not even thinking about you. You can't even get him. You have your sandwich and you asking him, can he just run you by a bag of potato chips on his break? And he makes 10 reasons for why he can't do it. That's a problem.
That's the test. That has to be the just us girls test. So if you're dating a guy, lady, and you want to know if he really loves you, start putting some tests out there. Ask him, listen, I'm so busy. Can you just please pick up some lunch for me and bring it here? I mean, ask him some inconvenient stuff. And it's nighttime. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I don't want to leave my house. Like, give him some ink and see what happens. See what his response is to you. I mean, if he's so busy, right now, he can order you Uber Eats. Listen, he could, you know what I'm saying? He could call a delivery person. If he's that busy, he's like, listen, I can't leave, but it's on its way. I just placed the order. Put him to the test. I love it. Amen. I love it.
I don't like when you guys have me laughing like this. I love it. I love that. Put him to the test. I'm serious, because sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that where you're really testing the waters there, you know? And it's not that, you know, and sometimes you know that they do love you. Sometimes you know that you feel that you do it. But sometimes it's like, you know what? Let me just check this out. You see how far they will go for you or what they will do for you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that at all. Ladies, come on. Come on. You got this. We're not telling you to rule the world. You don't rule the world. We're just talking about things that's genuine, things that, you know, that will, because that's what happens. No, hear this. Listen to the truth in this. Say, for instance, now you're pregnant. You're married. You're pregnant. How would you know that at 2 o'clock in the morning, you have a craving for some kind of weird stuff? What is he going to say? Oh, honey, could you get me this? Oh, I gotta get up early in the morning to go to, and he started making all these excuses. Now you having this craving about you. You know what I mean? I know that's kind of like a crazy, you know, example, but then yeah, think about it. You have that craving at about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're asking him to get you something, and he's gonna turn around on the other side of the on the other side of his bed, say, "Oh, you know, I got like 2 more hours. I got to get up at 5." Bro, listen, get up. Get up. There are places that open 24 hours, and like Collette said, there Uber Eats out there. Order something, have it come to the house, and do me a favor. Wait until it comes and give it to her, and then you go back to sleep. You know?
Can I give some clarification? Because someone may listen and go, oh, you ladies are just being petty. Like, this is small stuff. And so we recognize that a guy is not always able to drop everything and show up, right? But the part that we're talking about is, does he consider you? That is a key thing. If you can't say, because when you ask him these questions and you're listening for his response, because you need to get a feel for it, just like Jonelle said, right? What's going to happen in the future, right? When you're the weak one, is he going to be strong? Is he going to do things? Is he mind? What you're figuring out is, does he mind going out of his way for you? Is he attentive to your needs? Just like he wants you to be attentive to your needs. I guarantee you, if he's always talking to you about, oh my gosh, I just love when you cook chicken. I mean, he's throwing hits, right? Right? If he's like, I just love when you cook chicken. Every time you cook that chicken, you love him. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You going to cook him that chicken. And if you tell him, oh my goodness, honey, I just love when you buy me flowers. Oh, remember those flowers? You just, what are he going to do? If he considers you, the next time he's going to, oh, let me go get him some flowers. And he's going to show up, because that's part of him showing. It's these acts, these small things show that he loves you. Granted, maybe he doesn't have all the money in the world, but he could show up afford a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Whatever you drink, I don't know, a soda, something. He know your favorite bag of chips. I don't know, but there's something, right? Bag of chips now got expensive. It's $1 now. You know, I remember we used to be 25 cents. It went to 50 cents, and now a big bag is $1. But he got $1 in his pocket where he could get you some Frito-Lays. And he could say, honey, I know you love these Frito-Lays. Here's these chips.
Okay, you guys are cracking up, but it is so true. It is so true. We're talking right. You're talking right. You're talking about testing the waters. You're talking about the consideration. You're talking about all these things, and all of these things do matter because you are valued and you are loved. You ought to, you're showing love. And, I love the way, Collette said that, right? It's like, you're cooking. Of course, if you're dating and, you're courting or whatever the case may be before you get married, you cook a meal or whatever the case is because he's going to want to know if you can cook. He is going to want to know if girlie can cook. Okay, and then you're throwing it, you can throw it on in that kitchen, that you can put some dirty socks in that food, and you can really stir that thing, and that you can bake, and that you can really throw it down. When you're finished cooking, he'll be licking his fingers. Oh my gosh, this was so good, and you're gonna have a good time. And he's yes, dirty socks.
I don't know about the dirty socks, but
yeah, some people say, oh, you put your foot in it or something. That's what I'm talking about. Okay?
Oh, you stepped in that. They said, well, you stepped in that. We grew up with that. They said, oh, honey, you put your foot in that. You stepped in
your whole foot.
Your foot.
It took me back for a minute.
We went way back. So what happens, in essence, what happened is that that you can cook. That you can do these things,
yes,
right?
Yes.
What happened? You're doing these things we're not telling you to do wifely duties. No, we're not saying that to you. We're not saying, you go and you cook and you wash his clothes and all that stuff. No, but you're going to cook him a meal. It's his birthday. Let's just say it's his birthday or it's Christmas. You invite him over for dinner or Thanksgiving. You invite him over to dinner and then this is what you're doing. You're the one who did the cooking. And he was like, oh my gosh, this girl can cook. Now, if you go around now and telling everybody that this girl can cook, and she said, oh my gosh, I love those yellow roses or love carnation flowers or whatever. Be sensitive to what she's saying to you. Be attentive to what it is that she's saying to you. You pick up on that and you move accordingly. Listen, how about getting to LaWanda? I know that Kevin usually brings you some flowers. Girl, I usually see them things. Woo! I love that. Because what happens?
People don't realize this. Darnell, it's so funny. I tell people, let me tell you something. From the day that we started dating, every week I receive flowers. And till today, I have not received the same flowers twice. When I tell you, I take pictures of I have not received the same one twice. And wow. It's so amazing. Like, he's not good. If he doesn't have the flowers, there's a problem. He's like, no. I have to get your flowers. Because he realized that I love flowers. So that it's big. You know what I'm saying? So it's so funny you would say that, Darnell, because I remember the day he brought me this arrangement and it was all blue flowers. They were blue, such a pretty blue. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's so funny, did something a little different. Say, okay, I'm going to change. But it was so funny because they have not been the same. But it's so funny how he would go in a solid color and just said, okay, you know what? I'm going to change. I'm going to do something a little bit different. So it's just so funny how that just took me back and I started laughing. I'm like, wow. So consistency. Yeah, definitely. Could you
talk about that? Consistency. That, right? Talk about that. Consistency. Yes.
Nothing wrong with consistency. And there's nothing wrong with that. Come on, because that's why we're here today. Like Darnell said, we're empowering you to a better life. We want you to have a better life because you deserve it. You are phenomenal. You deserve that. And the minute that you start realizing that you deserve it, let me tell you something, other people are going to start treating you like that because you realize who you are and you realize your value and you realize that you are important. You do matter. And when you realize that, other people will start treating you like that. And then what happens is you'll start attracting a different type of person. You'll start attracting something that sees, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can't even play that on her. Because let me tell you something, she smelt it a mile away. So I can't even come and throw game on her. You know what I'm saying? So when you get that, it's good, because you want somebody to realize that they can't get over on you. And it's sad because so many times we stay in these dysfunctional relationships because we just think that that's all we can do. We feel like that there's just nothing better. But how will you ever know if you don't get out there? Like I always say, how do you know you can swim unless you jump into the water? been there, did it, jumped into the water, cannot swim. They had to come get me. So I can tell you this much, I cannot swim. Okay, so I know I done jumped into the water, okay? So been there, did it, done it, okay? So it just shows you that. You don't know unless you try it, right? You won't know, right?
You know, I love that. I love that because consistency is very important. You know, consistency is what you're going to, because you want someone that is going to stay the course. You want someone that is going to say, you know what, you know, Collette is a beautiful young lady, and you know, I know she likes this, so I'm going to do this for her. I'm going to, you know, this is how she treats me. She treats me, you know, with respect, you know. I mean, I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to step up my game. I got to treat her the way in which she treats me, and even better, because I'm supposed to be, well, you know, how many men have to say, well, I'm the man, you know, and I got to take charge, you know, I got to do this and I got to do that. Make sure that when you step to a lady, and I'm talking to the young men now, make sure when you step to a lady that you have something to bring to them. You have something. Don't step to a young lady with the mindset of playing games. Don't do that. Do not step to a lady with the mindset of, you know, you're trying to get over. No, you're too old for that. You don't have the time for that. You're wasting someone's time and you're wasting someone's life. When you come ready. Come prepared. If you have luggage and garbage and all that stuff in your life, go and get some help. And you know what? You may not even know that you do. You may not know that you have an attitude that's dysfunctional. But the moment that you step into a relationship, sometimes that's when you find some things out, you know, that's going on in your life. And listen, you will know where you stand. You will know where you stand in that relationship. And there's nothing wrong, and we've been saying this over and over again, there's nothing wrong with getting counseling. And okay, some men are more hesitant than women to go and get counseling. But how about seeking help from a big brother? How about someone who is a mentor? How about someone who you can talk to and really say, listen, man, you know, I really love this young lady, but, you know, I have this, you know, confide in someone and seek the help that you need in order for you to reach to that person. When you reach to that lady, that individual, you guys can have a functional, a healthy relationship, healthy dating, healthy courting, eventually and eternally a healthy marriage. We're helping you. We're here to empower you to get to that place where you can see the signs, you can do something about it, and so that when you're ready to get into that place where he proposes or whatever the case may be, you'll have a healthier relationship in terms of marriage. So it is very important for you to know who you are. Seek help and get to the place where you know who you are. Mm-hmm. It is so important to do that. Love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how can you give love to somebody? Come on now. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to be able to give love to somebody else? It is not possible. Yeah. It is not possible for you to, you know, say, you know what? Oh, I love you better than I love myself. No, you have got to first love yourself. God sees you in a special way. See yourself in a special way. Love yourself. Do things for yourself. We encourage people to travel, read books, educate yourself, do something different, you know? So when you get yourself or find yourself in that particular relationship, at least you know what it is that you want. You know what it is that you're looking for. So when someone comes to you, and be bold about it. If they're not doing right by you, speak up. Speak up and tell them, listen, I don't appreciate what you've done or what you said yesterday. Don't be afraid to speak up and tell this person, whomever he may be, that you don't feel comfortable with this or the way in which you speak to me or what have you. Do it. Come on, somebody. Love yourself. If you find yourself in a relationship that is going nowhere, that 15, we talk about a 25-year engagement, if you find yourself in a relationship that is not going anywhere, step away. And yes, it's hard for you to do, but step out of it. You shouldn't have to be dating somebody for like 5 years to figure out if they're going to marry you or not. No. Go ahead, Collette.
You know, we're talking about, well, one of the examples we've been using are those who will stay in engagement or just in a relationship for a long time. But what about females that remain in a friendship and not even in a relationship? And what I mean by that is, in her mind, she's in a relationship, but in his mind, they're just friends.
That's a good one.
And she will stay in that with hopes that one day she'll become his girlfriend and doing things for him, and he'll just take it, be the benefactor of it, be the receiver of it, but not give anything. For that female to whom I can identify with, if he has not made you officially his girl, honey, you're not. And you need to be like, just like the other woman we're talking about, get up and go. You are worth someone claiming you. And I don't want to seem like, because you're not an item, but you understand the heart of what I'm trying to say. Yes. Is that you are worth someone affirming you and validating your need to be in relationship, someone that can see you and someone that can hear you. And so if you're positioning yourself to be found, right? Don't align yourself with someone who does not want to find you. And men make their pursuit very clear. Yeah. I tell women that if a man wants you, you will know. You don't have to guess it. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to go, well, maybe I know he's trying to figure it out. No. That's not how men operate. No. When men want something, they go after it. And here's the hard truth. Here's the hard truth. If he's not going after you, he don't want you.
That's True. The reality of it. That's the reality of it.
Straight up.
That's straight talk leads to straight understanding. I don't mean that couldn't have been any more straight, Collette. It couldn't have been. I don't care if there's somebody that is watching this today, that could not have been any clearer, because it is true. If they want you, trust me, they're going after what they want. And they're not going to stop until they get it, because that's what they want. And we find that sometimes, that some do stay in that friend zone, because they feel the friend zone is safe. They feel the friend zone, okay, I only have to go, but so if I only have to do certain things, and then you find yourself that you become that person that they want you to be when it's convenient, if I can say that.
Yes. You give them the female side. You give them when they need to be with a woman, they can come hang out with you because you give them that female energy.
Exactly. So they say, okay, you know what? Oh, I have to go somewhere. Oh, let me call. You know what? Because they fit the profile. You got to realize sometimes you're going to fit the profile. It's not that they want to be with you regularly, but it's because of what they do and when they need you to become the girlfriend. But when they don't need you to become the girlfriend, you're no longer in that position. So now you're in a friend zone. But meanwhile, your mind is in the girlfriend zone. You understand what I'm saying? You're in this place, so you find yourself going back and forth, because you don't know who you are. You don't know which one you're supposed to be. Am I supposed to be the friend? Or am I supposed to be the girlfriend? Which one? So you sit here going back and forth because you don't know. So you don't want it to be where it's only because it's convenient for them. You don't want, nah, that's not good enough. You don't want to sit in that place. And I would not suggest you to do that. So you need to find out what's the real deal. Let's have the straight conversation. I believe that, like I said before, straight talk leads to straight understanding. If you say this is who I am in your life, then everybody need to know that's who I am in your life. Okay? I don't want to get to a function and then all of a sudden, oh, this is my friend. Oh, so meanwhile, somebody else thinks now you're available. but I was just your girlfriend last week. What's the deal? We got to understand that this is the way it happens. But if you say who I am, then stand on who you say I am. Don't waver, because then what happens, you become unstable in all of your ways. You don't want that. You need somebody who is going to become stable and who's going to stay and be happy that they're with you. Say that's who I am. Don't have people trying to guess who I am. Oh no, I know my side piece. I'm not sitting there with this little plate saying, okay, let me go pull her out the closet now. No, that's not the way it goes. Because if you say that that's who I am, and I want to help somebody today, because you might be in that place today of feeling like you know what you want, but you can't get them to get to the point of what they want. That's a problem. And how long have you been dealing with this? How long? It's too long. If you find yourself, it is still 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you still trying to figure out whether you the girlfriend or the friend, there's a problem. You should have known that, because like Collette was saying, and like we say, men know what they want. Trust me, I done spoke to enough of them. They know what they want, and trust me, they don't stop until they get it. So sometimes you're gonna have to start to put in that mode in your mind and say, I'm not gonna stop until I get it too. You gotta learn how to play the game too. It's just this, you just have to know when it's time for you to start putting on your clothes, put on your big girl clothes, and say, it's time for me to do what I need to do, because I deserve that. I deserve that. And I need that for me. And that's where you have to come for that. You need it for you. It's not about everybody else, but it's for you. So that this way you will know who you are. And when you know who you are, it makes things so much better.
Exactly. Knowing who you are. Knowing who you are is half the battle. Because when you know who you are, when Joe Schmo comes to you and trying to, when I say I'm going to talk like this, trying to step to you and bring all those lines and trying to say these things to you, and you're like, really and truly, that's not really, you're not on my list. None of the qualities that you have are on my list. I'm serious, because when you make that list, you can go off and you can start checking off those things on the box. And then, of course, you have friends, and then you don't want to be, you want to get married. Why would you stay in a relationship, friendship zone, where you know that brother man is not even, he may come, he may change his mind. Don't try to change a man's mind. Collette said it so eloquently. A man will hunt. He's a hunter. Men are hunters. He's going to go after what he wants. And if he's not pursuing you, he's pursuing somebody else. And meanwhile, he's pursuing somebody else. You're still there saying, well, you know what? Eventually, I'm praying. Eventually, he's come around. Okay, I'm praying got nothing to do with it. Because but a man he doesn't have the mindset to be with you. His mind is not with you. He is not for you. That's not the direction in which he's going. You want to hold him here, and he's gone. You understand me? He have you as a friend. You know what? If you cannot handle that friendship zone, step away from it. Step away from it. If you cannot handle that friendship zone, you step away from it. You fell in love with him, you like him, but if he likes somebody else, guess what? Things happen. But step away from it. Give yourself, go and get some counseling. Sister counselor or brother counselor, man, I need some help. Okay, you've been friends for like this years and for like 2 3 years, and you find that now it's like you start seeing him in a different way, because that usually happened. You guys have been friends for so long. You're probably in college together or in high school together, and now he's going into this married, this deep voice, like, oh my God, and you start changing in terms of, he's not the skinny guy that you used to know in high school. So here you are now, he's grown up and you feel differently. Your emotions start changing towards him, but he still has you in friendship zone. What do? You seek the help, step away from it, remove yourself from it so that you can give yourself time to heal from that and reframe your mind or change your mindset as to who he is in your life. Okay? If you can't handle the friendship zone, step away. Because what we want you to do is to go into a relationship where you are healthy. Not going into a relationship where Jim is thinking that you're in a friendship zone, right? You have a crush on him and you're dying for him and you're so in love with him. And then you're thinking that this is going to happen and your thoughts are all over the place. Your emotions are all over the place. And guess what? Nothing is going to come out of it. So step away from it. Remove yourself from it. Because guess what? It's not only men who create a dysfunctional relationship, women also create that atmosphere as well. Okay, so we always say we're not here to bash the men, we're not here to talk down about the men, but what happens is women also find themselves in a place where they want to play the field too. Come on now, ladies, you want to play the field. You want to play the field. You want to say, well, you know what? But I'm going to check him out because he have this, he have this, he have that, but then that one over there have this, that, and the other. I'm going to see how it's going to work out. No. Know who you are, know what you want. So when you start going out with that person, the communication lines are clear. You know what the relationship is. You know where you want to go. The guy is gonna tell you straight up, because the guy is gonna be like, he's gonna tell you, like Collette said, he's gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you what he wants, and men go after what they want. Most men are the aggressors. Let them be the aggressors. You sit and be cute. Let him come after you. You be cute. Don't be a snob, but you be cute. Take care of yourself.
Cute.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Be cute. I like that doing now. Be cute. Now, one of the things that I realize is that sometimes what happens is, depending on what has gone on in our lives and different things, this is really just I hope that this will just help somebody for a minute, because they might be in this place today, is he has to like you for you. If you have to do a whole bunch of changing, there's a problem. If there's an issue with something, whether it's he doesn't like your weight, because let me tell you something. Been there, did it, done. What happens is you find yourself always trying to fix yourself to be something that's not you. And then what happens is you go through your life always trying to live up to other people's expectations. And what happens is you're doing nothing but hurting yourself. Mm-hmm. And I find this, that you have to get to that place that you are comfortable where you are. God made you to be who you are. Yes, we have some things that we can do health-wise, different things that can change. But at the same point, it's not going to change overnight, because it didn't get on overnight. So I want to help you today, to that viewer that is watching, to let them know that they have to love you for who you are. They can't expect you to lose 100 pounds overnight. That's not going to happen. If that's the case, then we could all take something to do. That's not going to happen, okay? So you have to live in your truth. And that's what it is. It's living in your truth. And you have to realize that you are worth it. So no matter what it is, if he is pushing on you to get to a size 2, you've never been a size 2 your whole entire life. Maybe you're big bone, so maybe your larger bone doesn't allow you to get to a size. So why would you want to? Maybe that's not where you want to be at. Maybe you're comfortable in your size. Okay, health-wise, we all have different things that we deal with, but at the same point, if they're constantly on you for the same issue over and over again, every time they look at you, they nitpick. Oh my goodness, you don't look like you done gained 5 pounds. You look like you done gained 10. Each week they telling you keep gaining weight. You checking the scale. The scale don't say you gaining no weight. That's a problem, because they're going in with the relationship with a problem. And that's not healthy, because that means now other things are going to begin to develop, and it's not going to be healthy in the long run. So I want to encourage that one today, to live in your truth, be who you are, and know that they have to love you for you. That's who you are. And it's okay. It's okay to be who you are. We all have things that God is still helping us with. Trust me, none of us have arrived. I don't know about nobody else, but I have not arrived. God still helps me day in and day out. So I want that viewer to be encouraged, to remember that no matter what comes your way, remember that you matter. When you look in that mirror, I want you to look in that mirror and say, I matter.
Yes.
Look in that mirror and tell yourself, I'm worth it. I'm not coming down to you. You've got to come up to me. That's what you start speaking to yourself. Start talking positive affirmations to yourself because you matter.
Go ahead, Collette.
Amen. So good. So good. I think I just want to, I was writing something down and I wrote down the health of your heart must be your priority. The health of your heart must be your priority. All right, scripture says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. And when you put yourself in these situations, or we talked about various situations, any of these situations, what you're doing is damaging your heart. And just like in the natural, right? We're dealing with natural issues, but in the natural meaning, you know, if you have a health condition, maybe at first you didn't realize that something was wrong. But maybe you start feeling a little wrong, or maybe someone's pointing something out to you and saying, maybe you should go to the doctor and get checked. You go to the doctor does whatever exam, whatever test, etc., comes back and says, you know what, I'm glad you came because your suspicions were correct. I'm going to put you on this treatment. I'm going to give you this medication. Take it however, right? And you will be better. You'll start to feel better. If you have any problems, call me. When I talk about taking care of your heart, I want you to do the same thing. And when we've been talking, if there's anything that has stood out, anything that's like, oops, that's me. Oh my goodness, they're talking about me. That's us pointing out. You need to do something about that. So don't just listen and just go about your business. No, you have the power to change. You have the power to take hold of your heart. That's precious. Don't let anyone stomp on your heart. Don't give it away. It's not free, right? But your heart is worth so much. And so guard your heart, value your heart. And the health of your heart must be your priority. Because if it's your priority, you won't take junk anymore. If it's your priority, you will make some hard decisions because you know at the end of the day, your heart will feel a whole lot better. And so guard your heart.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. This is just beautiful, beautiful discussions. Thank you so very much, LaWanda. Thank you so very much, Dr. Collette. You know, you ladies, you have just done an exceptional job today to encourage, empower, enlighten the young ladies and even young men, you know, that's out there, because we try not to exempt the men. You know, I know it's just us girls, but, you know, I know that there's some men, you know, that I've spoken to that they are, you know, also listening. So do your part. We've said a lot to, you know, today. Do your part. Guard your heart, as Collette say. You know, be a straight shooter, as you know, as LaWanda had said earlier. You know, be straight, be open with where you are and what you want, and don't try to be someone that you're not. You know, it's important for us to, you know, to love ourselves. And we've said this many times over, love yourself. Self-love is very important. We push self-love because in self-love is where it comes from. If you do not love yourself, if you do not know who you are, and you don't love yourself, you're going to end up in, you know, doing things and receiving things and accepting things and settling for things that you should not do. So guess what? You've heard a lot, we've said a lot. I'm sure that you wrote a lot of things down. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to us today. We're going to be back again with you. There's so much about dysfunctional relationship that we just actually tap on the surface of it. We're going to get to some deeper stuff later on, but I want you to take what you got today. Take it. Maybe that was you. Maybe that was you. Maybe that was you. Maybe whatever what this was discussed. Maybe you found yourself in, in something that LaWanda said, in something that Dr. Collette said, something that I've said. Take it, okay? Digest it and work on it. All right. You are loved. You are valued. You are worth it. We love you. Okay. And until next time, bye-bye.
So here we go again, it's no surprise. 'Cause we know better than to roll the dice. So take this love and try to make it new. You can't fight it when it feels so true. You drive me crazy like no one else. The final moment before I lose myself. And it's no use working 9 to 5.